Coming up here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports, I want to talk a little bit about Jerod Mayo, specifically his transition into the head coaching position. I know he's had the title for many months now, but how it's changed from the Bill Belichick era. I want to talk about the difference that Jerod Mayo is making, and more importantly, he has told media, I'm just trying to do things my way. I'm learning. He's not trying to step in the shoes of Bill Belichick. Those are some pretty big shoes to try and step into. So I have seen a couple of reports here about Jerod Mayo and the difference that he's made as a former player turned coach and how it could possibly set the tone for the new New England Patriots. Say that a couple times fast. All right, go on ahead and do one thing for me here. Hit that sub button for me. If you guys are looking for the Bets Patriots content on YouTube, it's going to be found right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We currently have 12,000 loyal subscribers. I appreciate you guys, every single one of you. I wish I could thank you individually. Go on ahead, hit that sub button for me. Grow this channel because there's going to be a long off season to see who's going to be that quarterback and how your Patriots are going to do. All right, so here's the latest report here on Jerod Mayo. He's changed the vibe, not just on the field, off the field as well, in the buildings. He's really implemented an open door kind of policy here. And more importantly, I think he's personally trying to take this head coaching position to be a, hey, I'm your friend first. And we're going to see how that's going to play out because that is very different from how Bill Belichick led this Patriots for several decades. The biggest change here. Mayo is a former player, so obviously he's going to think like a player. He's probably going to use some experiences he had as a player and try to change it and make it better for his guys. And they have very different coaching styles here, and that can actually be a really good thing. And you also got to think, there's 34 years in between Belichick and Jerod Mayo. That is several generations right there that think differently about how to take this approach to coaching your team. Jeff Howe did break down what Jerod Mayo has been doing here, and this is one of the very cool changes that I have seen so far. There's actually a basketball hoop in the locker room, and some coaches even have one in their meeting rooms for an added dose of competition. The cafeteria has turned into a spot where all of these new faces are encouraged to hang out and get to know each other better. Number one, I love this. I would love to have a basketball hoop in my meeting room, let me tell you. And in the locker room as well, you have these guys coming off of hot, sweaty practices, and they're not done yet. They want to get a little bit more competition up. I've always been a fan of kids in grade school, going all the way up to high school and college, being a multi-sport athlete. I've loved that. I think it just adds that athleticism and that competition. And then the locker room is now becoming a cafeteria like you had in high school. I looked forward to lunch every day because I got to see my friends. And now he's trying to implement that here. If you want your teammates to sit together, have a good time, talk with each other, let some steam off. I think that's a great initiative. That's not the only thing Jerod Mayo has done here in the past to make it a very different atmosphere. The number one thing I also saw is that he did hire a muralist. He hired a muralist to paint this beautiful, beautiful mural of different stages of a player's life. You know, growing up, loving the sport, then playing the sport at a professional level, and then becoming a coach. And what's best is that it's actually all the way from the locker room to the coach's office. And it's the stages of your career. I think that's beautiful. Maybe it's the girl in me that just really appreciates that extra detail in decorating, but I think that's actually really powerful. He also appointed locker room leaders in different positions and different age ranges too, which I really like. It's not just, the mid-30-year-old guys saying, hey, you got to do better than this, blah, blah. It's the young guys and a mix of the veterans to be locker room leaders. And he has meetings with these locker room leaders to discuss what he expects in his locker room. He also has conducted 25-minute sprints with 5-minute breaks in between. Gone are the days of running up and down hills in the Bill Belichick era of very little breaks here. He said that he wants them to take breaks. That way they can give their all, knowing that the players and the coaches can take up to 5 minutes and discuss what else needs to be done, discuss how they like that. It's not just to keep going. They're actually making sure what they're doing is going to be beneficial. And last but not least, he trimmed Super Bowl memorabilia. I don't know how I feel about this one. More importantly, I don't know how Patriots fans are going to feel about this one, but he's actually kind of wiped some memorabilia from the Patriots training facilities and buildings and front offices because he wants to start fresh. He doesn't want to be reminded of the past constantly. I don't know how I feel about that because I do think the past is what has made you great, But I could see him, decades of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Now we're going to step into this new one. So that's going to be a little controversial in my opinion. But here's what Jerod Mayo had to say about coaching the New England Patriots. He said, I'm a huge believer in having a shared vision where the players have stock. The players do take accountability. So when things do get bumpy, and let me tell you, they're going to get bumpy, they understand that we're a part of a vision when everything is good. Right now, we're 0-0. Everyone's happy, running around. The vibe of the building is different, but that doesn't mean anything if we don't go out there and execute and perform and win games and continue to change the narrative and culture here. That man's about business. He's like, yeah, I can change some things right now. It's the offseason. It's May. We're in OTAs and minicamp. Let me go change a few things and see if this works and helps us win, not just on the field, but off the field. But he's also very realistic in the sense that, hey, if we don't win, none of this shit matters. The mural, all that, the basketball hoop, none of that matters. No one wants to have fun when they're losing. So he's realizing, hey, if I want to make change, I got to make change right now and see if that helps us and our mentality when it comes to like week 11, week 12, when things are really starting to get bumpy, because they're going to get bumpy. Let me go ahead and ask you this question here about Jerod Mayo. How confident are you in Jerod Mayo so far? Obviously, he's 0-0. Like he said, he has not played a ball game yet. And I know your confidence is going to waver, like it does with every head coach. When, you're kind of sitting there maybe a 4-6 and it's not going the way you thought it would. But scale it 1 to 10. Let me know what you guys think, how confident you are in Jerod Mayo. And while you're at it, be sure you guys have the freshest gear available. I have said this from day one. Never buy anything full price. $10 off right now, a Patriots t-shirt. Go to chatsports.com/Pats t-shirts to get this very nice deal. Father's Day is coming up, but it's also barbecue season. Barbecue season is coming up. Lake days are coming up. Beach days. I love a good t-shirt. I am a huge advocate of wearing t-shirts all summer long. I know you guys should be too. Also got a little bit of 4th of July pattern going on here as well. So if you guys want to rock the freshest gear, and for $10 off, this is $20. $20 for a very nice t-shirt, all sizes available. Go to chatsports.com/Pats t-shirt. Be sure that you guys are repping the freshest gear come this fall. Let's go ahead and break down here what Jerod Mayo had to say yesterday ahead of OTAs. He said that he's still evolving as a Patriots coach, which is why they had Tony Dungy in the building as well. Mayo wants to be himself. He wants to learn more, which I think is really important here for a new Patriots head coach. He's not trying to be Bill Belichick. He is trying to learn more. He is trying to understand that, hey, look, I was a player, I'm now a coach, and I want to make the tone different here. And here's what Elliot Wolf had to say about Jerod Mayo. He said, we haven't done anything. We haven't won a game. We haven't lost a game either. We'll see how that vibe is after different points in the season. So Elliot Wolf, who has to be a little bit more business-minded than Jerod Mayo may have to be, but that's very true. There is nothing won here. There's nothing to celebrate. There's nothing to be down about. OTA and minicamp is purely, in my opinion, for educating and repetition. This is to get the footwork down. This is when, if ever, Jerod Mayo is going to be a friend. It's right now, saying, hey, that wasn't the best rep. Let's see if we can get something else out of you. Let's see how you work here. Let's see how you do this. That's how Jerod Mayo can talk to his players. In the future, it's going to be a little bit more get your ass in the line type of thing. Maybe not. Maybe this is really how he starts to coach. But in my opinion, you're never going to have another Belichick. And that is unfortunate, because I do think he is a once-in-a-lifetime coach. I think he is phenomenal at what he did. I think he is exactly what the Patriots needed in the time that they did need him to win all those Super Bowls and be as dominant with somebody like Tom Brady as they were. And personally, because this generation is a little bit different, I could see that buddy mentality starting to backfire a little bit later in the season when you need to get a little bit more giddy up from your players. We need to get a little bit more aggression, more competitive. And now they're kind of looking at you like, man, Jerod Mayo, he's tripping. Or maybe, he doesn't cuss at me like Bill Belichick used to. Like, I don't know if he really means it kind of thing. You got to make sure that you do have a fine line between, hey, man, I got you, and you got to help me type of thing. Here's what Keion White had to say about playing under Coach Bill Belichick and then playing under Jerod Mayo. He said, I like Bill. He's my type of coach, like a hard ass. I like that. I respond well to things like that. But Mayo's done a pretty good job, too. It's all different. Mayo's doing a really good job of staying true to himself, not trying to fill somebody else's shoes, but create his own path. And I really respect that. which I do think is going to be super helpful here because Keion White was actually the player that stood out the most to Jerod Mayo yesterday in OTAs. And now he's saying, look, I prefer a type of coach that's, going to ride me, going to be hard on me. And personally, I'm the same way. Not that I'm saying I'm an NFL player, but I always liked that coach that pushed me a little bit harder to see what I was capable of doing. Whereas Jerod Mayo, he may still do that, but it may just not be like the cussing and the aggression like Bill Belichick did have. But respectfully, you don't want Mayo to be Belichick. He was kind of fizzling out in the last couple of years. And the last time they won a Super Bowl, it wasn't really going their way. They had one winning record since the last time they won a Super Bowl. So you needed fresh takes. And honestly, Robert Kraft was kind of growing tired of Bill Belichick in this era. He wanted something new. That was no secret. And his son, Brian Belichick, has also stayed behind. So you do still have that a little bit there in your front office. But ultimately, I think that if you wanted something new, something fresh, not Belichick, I think Jerod Mayo was a great choice. But do you miss old Bill? Type Y for yes, type N for no. These OTAs have been a little bit different. If you guys miss Bill, let me know in the comment section down below. And like I said, as always, for the #1 Patriots content you're going to find here on YouTube, go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. Let me know what you guys think. Always talk to me. And as always, go Patriots.